This month, we are going to review 7 principles for implementing culturally responsive practices. What is culture? It is the way we live. It is our way of being, our ways of doing things, our customs, our values, and what is important to us. It is our belief system, behavior expectations, and communication style. It is our traditions, and culture impacts how children learn, how they communicate, and how they solve problems. What are culturally responsive practices? In her book, Culturally Responsive Practices, Janna PBIS describes these practices as those that use the cultural knowledge, prior experiences, frames of reference, and performance styles of ethnically diverse children to make learning more relevant to and effective for them. It teaches to and through strengths of these children. They affirm the culture the child brings into the classroom. It aligns between home, community, and the school. We can ask families what their expectations are. Culturally responsive practices will help you develop positive relationships with the children you care for and their families. Why are culturally responsive practices important? Behavioral expectations are developed in the context of culture, family, and community. When the behavioral expectations of the school are different from those of the home and community, cultural disconnects can lead to unwanted behavior that is preventable. Why focus on culturally responsive practices as a component of social-emotional development? Children are a part of and are influenced in the socio-cultural context of their family and community. Children learn and develop in the context of family and culture. They learn values, understanding, and expectations within this context. Educators must understand and be responsive to each child's unique culture, to understand and promote the development of the child, and to establish reciprocal relationships with families. We want the best outcomes for all children, and we want to enhance the lives of all children. There are 7 principles for implementing culturally responsive practices. Principle 1. Kids get it that we get them. Children are represented in routines and activities, transition games, and greeting rituals. The stories and songs reflect the culture of the children. A grandparent program could be started to share their culture.
Clean up, everybody, everywhere, clean up, everybody, do your share. Some more there? Any more? Any more?
Principle 2. Kids get it that we like them. Teachers and home visitors are personally inviting. Every child must know that we want them in our program and that we care about them, especially children with challenging behavior. Teaching staff must have comfortable conversations about cultural traditions and activities. Teaching staff develop personal, meaningful, positive relationships with each child. Learn about their joys and fears. Teaching staff enjoy the children and enjoy being with them.
Did you see Archie's in there? There's Archie's in there. Up, smile. I just give kisses.
Principle 3. Classrooms are physically and culturally inviting. Children's cultures are represented in the classroom in photos, family books, and bulletin boards. Children's work is attractively displayed. Picture books, games, and books reflect the culture of the children. Principle 4. Catch children being good. Notice good behavior and acknowledge it. Use positive descriptive feedback at a 5-to-1 ratio. Respond to the child in the way the child needs, such as a smile, a high five, and a hug. Look for and acknowledge the positive behavior of children. Be aware of each child's strengths and tell them how smart they are. Find out what motivates them and use that to motivate and inspire them.
Thank you, Mia! Mia gets a B. Mia gets a B. We're so proud of you today. Mia gets a B.
Principle 5. Singing in harmony with the kid's song. Strategies are adjusted to meet the needs of unique learning and cultural styles of each child. Children don't have to change who they are to fit into our program. Our B rules are consistent with the family's cultural expectations.
To clean up. It's time to clean up. Thank you, Briar. Here's your B for cleaning up. Hooray, Briar! You're so helpful.
Principle 6. Respect begins with the teacher and home visitor. The teacher and home visitor models respect and sets the tone of the classroom and home visit. Children notice your behavior and imitate your behavior. Children notice if adults don't get along. You are the example that you want children to emulate. Studies show that children's behavior is changed when guidance is caring and consistent instead of punitive. Children are intentionally taught culturally appropriate pro-social skills and emotional competence. They are taught how to share, how to initiate play, how to problem solve, and how to follow the rules. The key is to intentionally teach these skills and then acknowledge children when they implement them or attempt to implement them. They must also be taught our B rules. The key is to intentionally teach the rules and positively reinforce children's behavior when they are followed. Notice which children are receiving a behavior incident report and look for patterns. Principle 7, child-centered learning. The focus is on learning, not teaching. We must know the child, and there must be a positive relationship with the child. Everything is centered on the child. Teachers individualize instruction based on the child's needs. Friendship skills are taught and reinforced. Assume the children don't have these skills. Teach them how to resolve social problems, how to make friends, how to initiate play, how to work cooperatively, and give them many opportunities to practice these skills. Acknowledge them when they implement these skills. Culturally responsive practices are the lens through which teachers see children and their learning. It is the filter through which teachers listen. It's the mold in which teachers interact with children using materials and making educational decisions. The key to initiating changes is to develop in-depth relationships with children and families we serve. All of our practices are based on positive relationships.